Hey yo, what's good, family? What's good, family? Thank you for you all supporting my shorts, your likes, your comments, your shares. Um, I couldn't sleep, so there's a reaction that I've been wanting to do. It came out last week. It's Albert and Preach and Sneeko. Um, I wanted to do a reaction because I think there's some conversations that need to be had, and more conversations need to be had. So I appreciated them two linking up to actually do this. So I'm about to switch my screen and then we're gonna get into it real quick.
Testosterone balls, manosphere shit, and then maybe you're just 32 and you're like, man, let me settle down.
You like fucking Sneeko?
We all do, yeah.
You like fucking you pussy?
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Can I just appreciate how forward, like, Abba's conversations are like always like straightforward. I absolutely love that because uh, some people it may catch off guard, but I just love having straightforward conversations.
No.
100%.
No.
100%. And I could point you to hundreds of players who are online right now who have videos of them telling you new pussy gets old. In fact, how about I tell you this one? This is something even Andrew Tate says. This is something even Andrew Tate says. All right? Sex becomes overrated after time.
No, it's overrated now.
Yeah, it's like, he says new pussy's like, why do you think that is?
Because you get used to it. It becomes like when you eat the same food over and over again, it becomes boring. That's why you get new. That's why you get new pussies, so you spice it up. Or keep up.
But guess what? After you had enough new pussy, there is no more new pussy.
There's always,
Do you understand?
there's always
No, you think that. After you've had a few dogs, you realize dimes ain't nothing. After
And if you guys go back to, I think uh, the video that I did when I said that body count body counts matter for everybody. Basically, running around gets old because after you've had your experience, after you've done what you wanted to do, and you've tested the market and everything like that, it's the running around that gets old. It's not the new feel. It's the you want what you want consistently, right? And that's what I think Albert is trying to tell him. There's a difference, like when you're young and you just want new, feels great, whatever. But there comes a time when you grow up and like, okay, I want something consistent. I want what I want, and it has nothing to do with your testosterone or your masculinity or nothing like that. It's just that, like, okay, I've experienced things, right? And I'd rather experience the person and the vagina, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, and not just run around just getting new vagina and no personal connection. Life is about relationships. Like, shout out to Kevin Samuels, RP to him. So it gets old to have all that, all the intimate actions without connecting to the actual person. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I could be wrong, but I think that's kind of what I was trying to tell him.
baddies, you realize baddies ain't nothing.
So what
Why do you think? Why do you think so many of these dudes, as they get older in life, they stop talking about this shit nearly as much?
Because they get older and they're less testosterone.
It's not even
Has
that.
nothing to do with that.
It's you realize, like, bruv, the payout ain't worth the work in.
Because you get tired. You get older, you don't have as much energy. You get,
It's like even if you had the energy, because it's not worth the time. You know, there's a video. And like maybe you don't give a fuck about his opinion, but
No, I do.
I thought it was great. It's one with Shaquille O'Neal. He talks about his divorce with his first wife, and he's like talking about like how he was fucking left, right, center, and she was giving him kids. And at one point during this period, he got caught cheating, and ended up fucking up the marriage to get divorced. And now Shaq is I think what closer to 50. And he says something that I thought was so telling. He says, Looking back now, I realize like I was the one who fucked most of that up. And you can pull up the clip later if you ever get a chance. I'll send it to you on Discord. But he says the most joyous moments of my life were coming home and then seeing all my kids around and then getting to spend time with them. And that divorce, going through that whole process, that really stole for me like what I realized was my biggest joy. I spend time with my nieces now. I spend time with my mom, taking her out to dinner, you know.
And he's right about that, right? So listen. And I'm gonna come back to you guys real quick. Listen, once you have children, once you have a family, and this is something that I could speak from experience with. I'm married now, but I've been divorced one time, and I can tell you this: your children and seeing them grow and develop, and seeing how each kid may have different characteristics of you, but it's just separate. Seeing them accomplish things, seeing them overcome hurdles, seeing your wife happy, those things start to matter more. And when you get to a certain point, you realize all that energy that I put in, right? And this is what Abba means with like the payout's not worth the work, right? All the energy that I put in being in the streets, I can redirect it to my family, right? Because that's the payout. Like, I see the payout in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids love me. They just randomly walk up to me and say, "Dad, I love you." My kids think I'm the greatest person in the world. Like, my youngest daughter goes around and tells everybody, my dad is an expert at fixing things, because she sees me fix a lot. I fix things in the house, I fix things in the car. And so she goes to tell people that, like, my daddy is an expert at fixing things. I'm not an expert. I fix a lot and things work. But that payout is worth more, because my little baby girl, like, that payout is worth more than going to find some new pussy. You feel me? Like, I went to my son's football game, and the work that we've been putting in, like the workouts and the running, like I run with them, I train with them, and seeing his growth from the first game, which was earlier, from the last game last year, to see that he went from struggling in the game, and he was the absolute star of the game on offense and on defense. That payout is worth the work I put in. Not a new chick, not new pussy. Like, my family and my legacy means more, and I'm the last person to go to bed in my household. I'm the first person that wakes up in my household. I still have the same energy that I had, and I'm always running around. But what you do is you just redirect your energy into things that actually pay out. And we see it with these basketball stars and these rappers. They're putting in all the work for the IG models, and they're flying them out, and they're spending money on them, and they're putting themselves in compromised situations just to end up in some kind of scandal, just to end up in some kind of lawsuit. But you know who we haven't seen in certain scandals? LeBron James, Chris Paul, and many other people, Tom Brady, right? And many other people that have, decided to get married and to not be out here, putting in the work for all of these women. And these men are very goal driven. They have the money. They're top of the world athletes. So I doubt that if they have some kind of testosterone deficiency, but they choose to put all their work in their craft and in their family, and it's paying out. LeBron James, both his sons is like super sweet in basketball. Chris Paul, I don't know if he has any kids, but if he has a son, and if his son is half as good as he is, he'll be better than mostly everybody. Tom Brady, supermodel for a wife, has kids. Do you think that his kids are picking up anything that Tom Brady's doing? I can almost guarantee it. The only thing that happens is when you get used to things and you get tired of things, it's not like let's keep going to the extreme to spice it up, which is what some people do. They pay for it later because what that really means is, okay, let me pull back some. Let me redirect my efforts, redirect my energy. Just like if you had a business and you kept pouring money into one aspect of a business, i.e. the WNBA, but you redirect your money to something that's going to be more profitable. Like, okay, this part of my business isn't working, and I'm putting a lot of effort into it, and this part of my business is working, and I'm not really putting as much effort into it. So why don't I just take the investment and the time from this part of my business and put it into this part of my business? And it may just work out a little bit better, right? Let me switch back to them. I think they hit on some more things, so just let me click back and we're gonna watch some more of it.
Stuff. And I realized like that's the stuff that matters.
Let me see.
I've had pussy. I've had enough of it for a lifetime. That I'm like, bro, if I get you when it's not even. But when I spend time with my niece and I'm watching her like walk for the first time, or I'm seeing her say words like that. So let's talk about real people. Let's not just talk about what rich niggas do.
So do you think maybe it's not that you're being disingenuous, but that you appeal to normal people rather than trying to elevate people?
Sneeko, at the end of the day, most people are never going to be filthy rich. You're the exception. You're the 1%. That's not possible.
I'm not filthy rich. I'm not rich, but like I tell my chat every day, like
you are. When you realize it, Sneeko, you make well over 6 figures.
Yeah,
you are less than 1%.
I'm still like my student loans are being paid off this week, so technically I'm in debt.
It doesn't matter whether your projected income for this year and for the next subsequent years, you are less than 1%.
It's projected because I'm putting in the work. But
I don't disagree.
On paper, I have negative money.
I'm not dis.
Hold on. Let me switch back to you. YouTube has ads. So.
It's not possible.
It is. It is. If they have a phone, a lot of people hear what you're saying and just say, yeah, I'm never going to be rich. And then they won't. If you think that way, you will not get rich. But
standards are unreasonable and that you don't deserve that, so relax. You understand? You can't just sit there and
relax and calm down. That they need to accept their place in society instead of strive for more. And the reason they think...
So you think that if people aren't rich, they're going to be miserable?
It's getting harder to be happy if you're an average person. Because
But that's not what I asked you. If people aren't rich, can they be happy?
They can. But they also need to... They need to be complacent to some extent. And I'm the type of guy where I need to have complete freedom to be happy. If I feel any restrictions on me, and I think a lot of men naturally feel like that. If someone's telling you what to do, there's a part that's being suppressed. Because men naturally you just want to conquer. Like I get pissed off when people have more than me. Like I see hotels and resorts. Like why can't I own that? Why can't I get that?
Okay. But let's just take a couple steps back. So you agree with me that it's not because people are poor that they can't be happy, correct?
Yeah.
You can be happy regardless of your financial situation. Well, I mean, above a certain level. Obviously, listen, maybe not New York, okay? But what are the things that lead people
with the people around you, your friends, your family, your woman?
Okay. All right. So community, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you, of the two things, let me know which is more important. Do you think it's more important for somebody to have 50K and have a good...
They're trying to divide us more than ever. Talk to them. They try to divide us more if you voted for this. So many people are so polarized because of what they believe in and their standings, and it's all encouraged from the top. They say, you need to believe in this, like, you need to put Ukraine in your bio, put this GoFundMe, and everyone's just like, is so political that there's a lack of community. And that's why you need to get the ideas that people's worldviews are so different that there's a genuine lack of community, and especially on social media is making it worse.
So just taking a couple steps back. So we started off at young men are really miserable and unhappy, right? And then we talked about income, and you agreed with me that even with 50K, it's probably better to have $50,000 a year and have a really good sense of community, family, significant other, friends, than it is for you to be extremely wealthy and have nobody around. So you put community above money.
They literally say stand 6 feet apart. There you go. Separate the chair in the middle so you can't look at someone else.
The thing that we're going to deal with for many. We have to continuously live in lockdown and conceding to you.
Okay. Do you know how many people I talk to who are like, man, I just moved down because I got a job?
Everything I know you say it's all connected, so for me it's just too large in scope.
Do you trust the government?
I trust it for some.
Okay, so I don't know where the other part is. So just let me just touch on this. Most people that see the red pill community, and what tends to happen is people don't realize that two things can be true and two people can be right. Like Sneako has a lot of energy, he has a lot of views, but they began to talk about I think Sneako wanted just to wake up the whole world and to, push. And then the Abba was like, hey, listen, why don't you just try this and just see, can you make people happy? Like, go to your, start low, go to fundraisers, go to, big brother, little brother, big sister, little sister. He didn't use these, companies, but basically he was just talking about like, go reach out to your community, to the people that you live around, to the little boys that may not have fathers that need male role models. Be a coach of some sort, and maybe you will see that you could change a life directly that way in person. Two things can be true, and two methods can have the same result, because you get so much fluff on the internet with all these polarizing views, that I think people forget about the face-to-face things that can happen. The human, the interaction between two humans. Like just like I don't coach football anymore, but I'm always at my son's practices. When I see a little guy throwing a tantrum because he couldn't do something, if I see his mom nearby and I see that she's getting frustrated, I'll wave my hand. I'm like, hey, can I talk to him? Like, can I go talk to him? You know what I'm saying? And then I go over there, I put my arm around the shoulder pads. I'm like, hey, yo, little man, this is not how you get better. Because while you're frustrated and you're stopping practicing, as I look at all the other little boys over there practicing, trying to get better, and they're just as frustrated, but they're not giving up. They're not going to quit. That little boy may not never remember me, but since I've told him that, guess what? We've been practicing football for like a month and a half, and our first game was earlier. I haven't seen him throw a tantrum since. He's even worked his way into the starting lineup. He may not never remember me or my name or who my sons were, right? Because he plays on my oldest son's team. But he did not, or have not, or hasn't thrown a tantrum since. And I'm always watching, right? It's those things that can change a kid's life. You feel me? I'm a stepfather, right? And I get compliments on parenting, not just all my kids, but my stepchild too. And that little guy is amazing. You know what I'm saying? These things, these human-to-human interactions with people can change people's lives. Mike Tyson's first coach, changed his life, right? There are so many things, so many people. Like, people touch people every day. Like, you can inspire somebody in person every day. And yes, we're on the internet and you want to wake up the whole world, but sometimes you can also help the whole world by helping one person. You know what I'm saying? That one person can grow up to be something great. It may take some years to manifest and for that young man to develop, but you put him on the right path. And some kids never forget. Hey, I don't know what that old dude's name was, but he told me this, and it's worked out for me, and it kept me on the right path. Um, Man, there's been so many people in my life, right? There was an older white guy. He and his friends, they were all war veterans, and he seen me in the neighborhood. His name is Jack. His friend's name is Pedro, and they used to have this shop in the middle of the hood, but they didn't fix anybody's cars. They fixed their own stuff, and they built cars from scratch. Uh, Mr. Jack used to put air in all the kids' tires in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But he would see all the little kids running around, and then one day he pointed to me and he said, "You can come over here anytime." He was like, "You can come over here anytime." He said, "You're different. I would rather you come over here than be hanging with all these hoodlums, right?" Now, I'm black. The other kids were black, but he picked me out of the bunch and said, "You can come here anytime." My dad had started to teach me how to work on cars, but they knew more about working on cars, so they taught me how to work on cars. Uh, Pedro was the welder. He taught me how to weld. They taught me how to fabricate. And they sparked the interest, part of that, which helps me run my business now, and that helps me take care of my family. So, you know, those two people helped me stay on the right path. And now I'm responsible for 5 people. You know, so change can happen on a broad scale, all at once, or on a macro scale. Am I saying that right? Uh, and it takes time. But guess what? Even the things that you want to not take time also takes time. All these major movements didn't start out big. They started out small, and they grew, and they reached people, and they changed people's mind. Um, but that's my time. If you guys like my reaction, if you guys don't like my reaction, if you think I'm off, put it in the comments. If you think I'm not off, you know, put it in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, thanks.